So just in case. Oh.
Okay, welcome to the Hopeifiers. My name's Alan Friesen, and with me is Brother Daniel. Daniel,
Sepula.
can you speak to us?
That's right.
Is your connection, is Sister Google being nice to us?
Can you hear me?
I can.
I hope you guys can hear me. Well, if you can hear me, that's all that matters. So that's good. How should I connect this? Okay, good. I hope I'm connected. And are you waiting for people to join you?
Yeah. Yes, I will. Sure, we'll give it a minute, and then yeah, we'll give it a minute, and then we'll get going. And it seems like our connection is starting to click here. I don't know why, but it seems like it's starting to work. So that's good news.
Well, that's good. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can. Very melodious voice, amazing voice I can hear now.
Well, maybe it's this microphone.
I think so. Yes.
Well,
hey, Jesse's asking that you would. Go ahead.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh, Jesse was asking if you would come into the center. But here, let me ask you this. Do you like this better or do you like this better?
Say that again.
That or this?
That better.
That's better? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that'll
How do you do that?
Okay, good. We're good then. All right.
Wow.
So, Hopeifiers. For those that have never talked to us, let's tell them what Hopeifiers is about, Daniel.
Well, I think it's in the name. Everything is in the name. You know, you can have it's in the chemistry of hope that hope creates. You can have somebody with a sad story make the whole world sick, and somebody who is powered by hope will also like sweep the whole world and bless it and impress it with hope itself. So I think this journey is about telling a different story, a story that is not really what we see in the current, just in the news or in the regular news. You know, that how do we really bring hope to people? How do we be a conduit of it? But from your lips, the definition of hope is probably better. So why don't you sing it to us?
Sing it to you. Well, I wasn't prepared for that, but
well, that's so nobody is prepared for anything but make stuff up.
Yes, make stuff up. So, as Daniel has expressed, this show is about outrageous optimism, about positivity, about stories and dreams that you wish were true. That's what this show is about. Wow. I don't know, Daniel, I don't know if it's just me. You're a little bit choppy to me. I hope your signal is strong to everybody else. For me, it's a little bit choppy. So I'm not sure why. I'm not getting any things from my internet saying I have bad connection. So, but I'm hoping that yours is good for everybody else.
Wow. So yeah, it's important that I hear you clearly, and it is you coming through very, very, very well. But okay. Again, it's a story that I wish was wrong.
You know what? No, Jesse says we're okay. Jesse says it's okay. Jesse Partmar says it's all right.
That's really good. That's good. So that's great. I'm into any story that breed optimism, any story that breed hope.
Right.
I want to live it, and I want to tell it. And so that's what this agency is all about. It's about bringing more optimism to the world and more positivity, more added value.
Right.
And that in this story, we believe people have a better story within them to live and a better song and to actually sing and to the world. So that's why we're here, and I'm excited, and I just want to hear. I think it's important for people to know that It's something that was right in your heart for a while right now. You have been doing quite and hosting conversations virtually for a while, and then this got into your heart. And it's always important to just celebrate the birth of a vision, where it came from. And then it gives people also another opportunity to dream themselves. Not only that, to celebrate and to join in other people as they dream. So why don't you tell the people where it all started? When did you have the vision, the aha moment, the visitation of a holy angel or something like that?
You know, Daniel, I thought it was your idea and I just borrowed it. But here's the way I remember. We have a shared dream. And in that dream, we had this omnivision where we could see every human being in the world in the same instant. Every human being. 7.6 billion, 287 and 1. That was, we could see them all. And we looked at them, and they were red and white and black and brown, different colors, and they were different sizes, and they had different clothes, and they spoke different languages, and they believed in different gods. But all of them were healthy. And you could see that they were healthy. All of them were hopeful. You could see in their eyes that they were hopeful. All of them wanted to help themselves and help others. You could see it in their hands and on their lips, in their deeds and in their acts, that they wanted to be helping of themselves and helping of others. And so that's the dream that you and I share. Do we not, Brother Daniel?
That's right. That's the dream. But again, it's like it's at most, like if I want to really be, if we want to go deep and examine it, certainly most people, there was some in the 1980s, there was a hope and that the whole world can somehow come together and be together. There was, I think it was something called One or something like that. But the idea was that for people from all background, no matter where they are, that we share a common story, the story of humanity, and that we can gather together. And you know what? We have our differences. We have, we all come from various background, various story. We have experienced many things that are different. But at the end of it all, that we are one people under God, the Creator, and that together we can be a healthier people. We can be the healthier version of ourselves. Now, think about it. What does a healthier version of yourself mean? What would happen if everybody else, your mom, your dad, your sister, your husband, and your wife, if they became the healthiest version of themselves? How about hopeful? It's good to be hopeful. What does that mean to be the hopeful version of yourself? Because sometimes we can see ourselves only through dimly, and we don't understand. When we look at the situation that we are in, we look at the story we are living. Maybe we are not having a good life right now. Maybe it's quite tough for us. But again, you need hope. Hope is like the nutrition that you need for your soul. Your spirit needs it. You need hope, just like you need water. What does that mean to live the hopeful version of yourself? And not only that, how about being helpful? What does that mean to be the helpful version of himself? And I believe if we are these 3H, we are more helpful version of ourselves, more hopeful version of ourselves, more helpful version of ourselves will profoundly transform the way this world is, the way reality is. I believe 7.6 billion people, we will create a better world and a better experience of humanity. And I think that's what, when we're talking about summarizing, and that's what I just thought is important to just celebrate. I hope you can hear me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Beautifully said, sir. No, yes. I'm with you 100%. And you know what? I have a little kind of a definition of health. Or maybe I learned it from you. I can't remember where it came from. But it goes like this, that there's 3 parts to your health. Really, it's functional health, if you will. And the 3 parts of it, if you can be there for the relationships that are important in your life. So you have the capacity, you have the strength, you have the patience, you have the love, you have what you need to be the person you want to be in the important relationship in your life.
That's right.
Two, that you can enjoy the activities, the experiences that are meaningful to you, that mean something to you, that are pleasurable for you. And three, that you can make the difference in the world that you want to make, that you have the strength, the energy, the stamina to make the difference in the world you want to make. I think if you have those three things, you are healthy. And you know what? You can be healthy. You could be that way and be in a wheelchair. You can be in that way and, don't not have an arm or a leg or your eyesight. You can have all three of those. You can still have health, even if you have challenges in other ways, right?
There's such something powerful about it. The key thing is to be and to do out of who you truly are. When I say that, I like to have a quick moment of silence. To be and to do out of who you are, not the truncated version, not the imported versions, the imported story that you get from the strong and the powerful and the abusers, but to be and to do out of who you genuinely are. And now that there's something quite powerful. Who we are, there is a physical dimension to self, there is an emotional dimension to self, and there is a heart, like just with the heart, and then there is a spiritual dimension to it. So the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit. So when we talk about health holistically, it's about embracing all these four areas. And now, when you live and do out of health, you are moved by conscience, not ego. Because where ego lives, you don't have a wholesome life. You have a fragmented being. You do out of fragmentation instead of doing out of wholeness. You see, holiness to me is synonymous with wholeness. And so health truly, when we're talking about, it's like wholeness. That I'm not going there trying to edit you. I'm not going there, I'm not journeying my life trying to, to come and to copy who you are and forget and betray who I am. Because when I do that, when I actually try to copy you, I betray my own existence and I betray the world. And when you do that, you're not doing me no favor. You are cheating me of life, and you are making the world a more darker and dangerous version of itself. So when we talk about health, that's what we are stimulating. Absolute, complete wholeness. And in its integrity and in its wholesomeness. I don't know that if you want to, but if anybody else have anything they want to comment on, but this is quite important when we're talking about health. Being healthy. Go for it.
I'm with you there, Brother Daniel. So when you're talking about living in your true self or to your true nature or you said to your true self, I think, right? To your true being.
Yeah.
Yes. So how do you know when you're living that way? What is it that indicates for you are on that path?
Well, first of all, your body your life leaves clues. There are clues that your life leaves. And then if physically, for example, if you betray yourself physically, your body will tell you. It will tell you. If I notice that if I'm drinking too much coffee or any other chemical, my body will tell me. If I'm eating too much, my body will tell me. Your cholesterol level will tell you that there is something you need to change. So the body leaves clue, and the body will tell you that there is something about it and about the way you are living in it that is not helpful or wholesome. So it gives you clue. It texts you. It text message you. It Googles you, and it's telephone call you saying you're going to eat healthier. You see, that's important.
I love that. That's awesome. And you know what? I I I always thought that was serendipity. I have this sister serendipity who likes to kind of bump me, give me a little hip check onto the right path. Because sometimes I'm a little bit of a slow learner and I need a little bump. And so there was an incident, a skydiving incident that created in me where I was going to exercise. There was a health scare that created in me that I stopped drinking alcohol. So there was like these little, hey, pay attention here. And so maybe that's an indication that I've been living okay, close to my true self for quite a while, because I get these little punts in my direction. So, and now I think I have a mission, or pardon me, not a mission. I think I have a calling. I didn't know I had a calling. Now I have a calling.
Wow. That is so important, because if people would listen, if people only listen to their bodies, I think something powerful will manifest. They'll be less dangerous. They'll be less anxious. They'll be less lost. And they will show up in more authentic ways. But you got to listen to your body, and you got to do more.
Yes.
And so listening to your body alone is one thing, but physical health is one thing. And you can have a bunch of strong 6-pack Arnold Schwarzenegger, or like me, like 8-pack. You can like a very strong body, like me. And then if you lack the mental capacity and the emotional health and the spiritual to sustain it, well, what does that gain you? To gain the whole world and lose your soul. And so that leads us to that second thing, that second part of health, which is in the mind. And there's something so powerful about your mind.
Hey, before you go to mind, Daniel, before
Yes.
you go to mind, let's say one more thing about body, because you said you have to listen to your body, and I agree. But I think you also have to value, appreciate, love your body. You have this body, and appreciate that you can get up and walk around, that your legs and your feet and your hips and everything move, right? Appreciate that you breathe without any discomfort or pain. Appreciate that, you can see clearly, and appreciate that you can think and form thoughts and have feelings, right? That your body functions like a normal human body. I think that's, besides listening, it's also appreciating that. A lot of times we don't think of our body until it's fallen apart. And then we say, oh, you piece of shit body, how did you fail me? Well, for 68 years, nobody said, thanks, body, good job. I think we need to appreciate our bodies.
Well, and I'm mindful of this body. I know I wanted to talk about mine, and you wanted me to be mindful before I talk about mine, about the body. And that is something in terms of the characteristic of our physicality and our presence in the world as bodies. Now, here it is. It's important to listen to your body. It's important to appreciate it. It's also important to agree with it. Now, listen to this. Right now, your heart is pumping blood to your system. And here's a good thing. You don't even need to tell it to pump. The last time I told my heart to pump, I don't remember the last time. Do you?
I haven't done it recently. No, I know that. Yes.
It's head scratching. I'm like, when did I last tell my heart to beat? When did I last tell my brain to work? When did I last tell so that's what they call like the physical intelligence. That your body is an intelligent agency. And there is something about it. It's all by itself. It operates like a machine. And so we need to learn to appreciate it. And there is a mystery. Somebody said we are fearfully and wonderfully constructed. Now, that's powerful. So, to all people, when we talk about hope, and we will come back, much of the conversation we'll have here will be all about being healthy, being hopeful, being helpful. Those are important. And we will always come back and touch one aspect or the other of these 4 dimensions that we outlined earlier. And that's quite important,
I interrupted you. You were on your way to the importance of mind in
Yes.
health.
Yes, but again, like it's not necessarily. It's not. We don't have to go through it all today because it's the same thing. When we go about hopeful, I'm going to just dissect it in the same way in the four categories. Hopeful in body, in mind, in soul, and spirit. Helpful in the same thing: body, mind, heart, and spirit. It's just really coming back to what is somebody who is fractured, somebody who have fractured body, who is not authentic. Your body will tell you. So, but it suffice to say, your body keep a record. Right now, your body keep a record of every trauma that took place. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. I don't know, but there are research out there. But in trauma and traumatology, when we talk about trauma, they're realizing that the body keep record. They keep a record. And I think there's even a book about it. It says the body keeps record. And so remembering that means nothing goes unnoticed. So take time, love, and hold yourself, your body, lovingly, carefully. And you don't need to wait for the preacher to yell at you to do it. Because the preacher within you need to be strong enough to be able to recognize it. You see. And that to me is what, like, it's another call for us to be careful. So our body, we need to be thankful. This body we live in, this tent we live in, this house, we want to beautify it. You know, like, I know some people say put a little bit more makeup on. Like just decorate it a little bit, like make your hair a little bit, just look like the best version of yourself. Brush your teeth some, do something, clean your ears, like love yourself. Just love you and accept that. But when we live our lives constantly fighting our body, it's like a man chasing their own shadow, you see. So learn to be present in your body, to be here, and to be here right now, and not be like. So, but I will be here, Daniel. I'll be here if I was like I have 8-pack or 6-pack. I will be here if I look like this. If I look like this other person that I compare myself to. Whenever you go there, you are actually going down a precipice.
When you start comparing yourself with others, you're saying?
That's correct. It's a
way
of it's a way of death, not the way of health, not the way of hope, not the way of helpfulness.
No.
You are betraying selfhood, and you are betraying your existence in the world around you.
Now, when you say selfhood, you said every human on the whole world, their selfhood is distinct and unique, and there's something about their life that they were put on this planet to do. Do you believe that?
That's right. They're here, they live in this place and move in this place. There is an assignment over each one of us. Now, the key is recognizing it. There are many who say, I don't believe that it is something that is external. The problem when people get into this debate is, well, what does that mean, internal and external? Your thought, is it internal or is it external? I don't know. Because if it's inside of you, where is it? What says the brain? Where is that? Is it because the brain sees, your eyes see something and give it to your head? I don't know. Really, in our lives, it's not about in and out. There's more fluidity. We are translucent. There is quite a lot. That's the whole thing. It's not, you are greater than your body. And your true self is greater. Your true self is greater than what you see. And even what you see is more beautiful than you think. I hope I didn't confuse anybody or bring any complex stories. I'm a Bushman. I just talk as a Bushman. I don't, I'm talking from my own personal experiences and what does that look like.
Now, you know what, Daniel, should we put up our phone number in case somebody wants to try calling in?
Well, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Do that.
Let's do that.
If somebody will like to do that and to call, that'll be fantastic. We'll be able to
Yeah.
chat with them. And but
Yeah.
it is, again, people just need to do, like, at the end, anytime, for me, and I think that's the truth. Anytime a show like this become institutionalized, you have to get it like so, like this, so perfect. I can't watch it. I want realness. And I think that's what our young people want. They want real. That's what our society wants. They want real, not fake, not just plastic surgery of it. Let just be authentic. And so we speak like that.
Exactly. I want to see Daniel Zapula. I don't want to see Daniel Zapula trying to look like Billy D. Williams or something. I want to see
And
Daniel Zapula.
that's right. And I don't even know Willie something, but I do I look like, I don't know if I look like him, but I don't know if anybody knows him. They should call me. I don't know. It's, but at the end of it all, I think if there is anything that I have learned in my short life is, like, be authentic. Don't try to be right. Don't try to win it all. Don't try to, don't fake it. Be authentically self. And I think your body won't lie to you.
And you know, I believe you believe that that selfhood, that uniqueness that each of us has, comes with some kind of difference we're supposed to make. Do you agree with that? Some
That's
kind of
right.
service we're supposed to be for others, something we're supposed to do to help other people or help the world.
That's right. But it's like, but to do that, I have to recognize that I'm a dative self. When I talk about that, and in my book on marriage, I did mention a little bit more recognizing that. And notice I'm a person who is here and now as I am. I have to recognize that. And I also need to recognize that I belong to somebody. And my belonging is that I belong to someone. I belong to you, to humanity. That I didn't just make myself. I didn't just parachute somewhere down, because I don't do these dangerous sports. I'm not an alien that just came and interrupted the course of humanity. I belong to a community. And that community need not be perfect. They need not have it all together.
And we not need be perfect, right? We don't need to be perfect, and the community doesn't need to be perfect, right?
And that's right. And sometimes we have the tendency to think we must be perfect, or we are ashamed of where we came from, and it's not perfect enough. We begin to doubt and think, if only my parent were nice enough. If they were white, if only they were black, if only they were yellow, green, is irrelevant. But it's to accept and to welcome self. Or I can also say, if only I had better teeth. If only my teeth were straight. If only I can talk English better. If only I have
Speaking of that, my friend.
Yes, go ahead.
Speaking of that, you and I had this conversation a little bit before.
Yes.
But I was on the phone and there was a delay. But let's kind of refresh that. We're both saying the same thing, that there's a unique selfhood we have, right?
Yeah,
and comparing with others is not only stupid, it just is doesn't make sense. Of course, I'm going to find somebody who's better at something than me. Like if I'm going to compare myself with basketball players who are 7.5 feet tall, I'm going to be very disappointed with the result. But what we did say is that if you made the decision that you were your favorite human being, which makes sense, you have this selfhood, just that is your favorite, that's not a comparison, that's a decision you make. I mean, you can look at it as a decision that you're your best friend, that you can make it that way. That's the way my wife likes it. I like that I am and aspire to be my favorite human being. And so I have a whole backstory of where that came from. But I love that because it says, I love myself, or at least like myself. I'm my favorite. Now, And if I make changes, if I make a change today that makes for a better tomorrow, a better version of me, or a better way to contribute to somebody else, well, then great. I've aspired to be an even better version, right? So, anyways, I'm a big fan of that because your self talk changes. Your self talk becomes, yes, you can do this. Yes, be yourself. Yes, say what you think is true. Say what you believe with passion. And don't worry about what other people say. There's going to be people who don't like it, don't agree, but be yourself.
That is a powerful reminder that I may not be the best at anything, but I am the best at being me.
Definitely. Well
And that
said, sir.
you are the best at being you.
Yeah.
So in that,
You're the best Daniel Zapula ever. You're it. You're Daniel Zapula.
and in that thing, it is sobering. There is no to me. And if there is anybody else who is me, it's no longer me. And I think it's sobering to slow down and to actually think about that. I am the only person who can be me. Now, when you can realize that, that's correct, as you said, your stories change. You begin realigning your life differently. You're not going for the crowd. You're not singing for a crowd. You're singing because out of who you be. Whether the whole world come and watch or not, it wouldn't matter. I'm going to sing. I'm going to dance. I'm going to show up the very best I know how, the only way I know how, which is in my own way, my own voice. That's powerful. And I think whenever there is war, whenever there is dissension, wherever there is a movement toward genocide and excluding of each other, is because people are beginning to demand a different story than who people truly are. Whenever there is hate, we are trying to make people be what we like them to be.
Sure.
We want to recreate a different version that is according in our own image, but we need to let people be in their own image and be authentic, at their authentic selfhood, and to celebrate who they are. There's something so powerful about that.
Yes. You know, when you talk about people being who you truly are, did you see when I had that little interview with Professor Halonga last week? Did you see that by chance?
No. Give me the blur.
He's a super smart doctor from Tanzania, won the World Health Organization biggest award ever. I can't remember what it's called, but for a nano filter he built. And this nano filter, basically one of these nano filters that is like $150 US will give clean water to a family of 20 for 5 years for 150 bucks. And so this man, he is very inspiring. And this is him being his true authentic self. He says he's going to be a billionaire, not in terms of money. He doesn't care about the money. He's going to make a difference in 1 billion people's lives. And I like, oh, that is inspiring. I'm going to make he says he's going to make a difference in 1 billion people's lives before he dies. And I think he's going to do it. It might even be in my lifetime. Wouldn't that be something?
He already made the difference.
He did. Because yeah, he's making a huge difference already.
You know, sometime when we actually call ourselves, there's an echo, right? The future sometimes is an echo. When you say, I'm going to impact 1 billion people. The fact that you declare, the fact that you call it out, I think it's a powerful statement. There's something in the air change, something in the atmosphere, in the environment that is changed already. And so he already is a difference maker. And he's being very, very, very humble. Now, may his contribution be much. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you remember this, but our first discussion we had was called Food for All, remember? And I
Yeah.
kind of made, or we had that fake news story about
Yes.
Dr. Zach Bush and Dr. Oh man, can't think of her name right now, getting together and finding a solution to make food for all, right? And that was, of course, that was just fabricated. That was made up. That was a hopeful wish. So then when I started thinking, okay, well, what after food, you want to have water, but it's actually water first before food. But anyways, I'm thinking water, and there's a billion people on the planet that don't have clean water. They drink a cup of water and they get malaria and die. And most of them that die, they die from diarrhea, which would be a terrible way to die, I would have to think. But anyways, I'm in researching now how you do clean water. I ran across this Asquar Hilonga, and I'm like, this guy's a genius and has this huge vision for how he's going to change the world and make life better for a billion people. I'm just, how can you be more inspired than that? That's incredible. So this is a real guy. I made up a story, but here's a real guy that's actually making a huge difference, right?
Yeah,
so
that's really, really, really good. And that's incredible. Again, if anybody want to call, or again, that's 587-813-6552. We would love to chat with you, and thank you for again being here with us. We are again talking about health, and we talk about physical health and how important this was, and if we can make the world a healthier version of itself. You know, that means from our body, we look at the body. It symbolizes a metaphor of anything we can touch. That means, you know, the universe, the trees. I mean, we need to be each need to become better steward of our environment. And I think our country is doing a good job. I think the whole world globally is doing a better job. They're doing better than they were before. There is a long way to go. And I think sometimes in the world that is so full of skepticism, we never take a moment to appreciate what was already achieved. But compared to the 60s and 70s, I think the consciousness is higher and we're more alert. And I think we're doing a good job. We can do better. And I think I say that again in a hope that we will have more innovators who will rise up, and maybe more people who are hearing you now who will rise up and maybe somehow make a better, and maybe invent technology that will make it better. Maybe who will intervene. And I don't know, whatever it is, but people can use a creative genius to make this world, the world that we see and feel and taste and touch, better. And that is a plea to the world. And that means also caring for those who are hungry. You know, it's our moral duty to care for the hungry and the hopeless and the homeless and those who are in the street, the highway and the byway. Yeah, you can tell the quality of a nation by how they treat the homeless people, how they treat the poor among them, how they treat those people who have no food. And so it's time to make a moral inventory of ourselves again. And we need to do that again and again and remind ourselves that there is only one version of ourselves in the world. That's me, that's you, anybody who can have a me. So you are the best and the expert. You got the PhD at being you. You go do it and let's change the world. I think that's a lot for today. That's a lot that we just unpacked there.
No, that sounds great. That sounds great. I think that's we were trying to keep this to a half hour, but we're 39 minutes. So
I know.
30 minutes. But
yes.
So we want to call this good for tonight.
Well, yes, and let's just take a minute to just say again, I want people to recognize the effort that is being put to bring this to you, wherever it is that you are. And I want to thank Just FM and all the people that are really making this possible. And Alan, I just want to say thank you to you. You are a brave man. You just go for it, and you live for an audience of one. You don't wait for 1,000 people to continue to speak. And I say, if you continue like this, as you continue, you're going to see incredible impact. Sometimes you keep on talking, you're going to say mysteries and incredible things in the desert, and suddenly you realize the whole world is watching and listening. Keep it up.
All right. Well, you and I, next Thursday, 7 o'clock, we're going to do this again. It's all
Andy,
about...
And we'll continue. We will continue because I didn't talk about the mind. I didn't talk about the heart. I didn't talk about the spirit. When as far as health, we will continue like this, and we're going to go to. We can talk about hopefulness, talk about healthfulness, and we're going to go through it all. You're not going to miss anything. You can go for replay. This is available in your YouTube, right?
Yes, it's on. Matter of fact, right now, the easiest way, if you're interested in seeing more versions, if you go to my YouTube channel, Alan Friesen YouTube channel, and you subscribe to it, then you'll get notice of this. You will also get notice on Wednesday nights. I do a show called 1,000 Ways to be a Champion of Children with my wife. And every day around 4 o'clock, I do a little a cappella singing. So you would get notified about those as well, but don't have to participate in those if you only want this show. So, because the Hopeifiers is about increasing your hope. Brother Daniel and I are going to be doing this. We got a contract for the next 27 years, Daniel. Did you know you signed that contract?
Yeah, I just didn't receive the check.
Oh, wait a minute. All right. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.